Media Day in the Louisiana Mercedes-Benz Superdome. I'm Rick Gallie here with Brian Allee Walsh, going through this famous or infamous type of activity, even though it does seem to be rather calm. We're sponsored by First NBC. We really appreciate not only this endeavor, but everything they do for Sports NOLA and Sports NOLA TV. First NBC with locations all over New Orleans. And Brian, the first thing the experienced guys noticed, such as you, is that this seems to be a much calmer type of atmosphere than most of the others.
Yeah, Rick, you know, this is the first time that they've actually opened it up to the fans, and for a price, of course. And maybe that has something to do with it. I think there's also a smaller media contingent on hand, but it doesn't, you know, over the years there's been a lot of crazier animated people that are, you don't see that many now down here, but you know, they're charging fans $20 to come in here, and maybe that's, you know, made it a little bit more tamer, if you will. But what are your thoughts? This is your first time.
Oh, this is not nearly as rowdy as I thought it would be. And one of the things I've learned about the media is that sometimes you have to be aggressive to get your camera angles, to get a question in, to get a microphone in front of somebody. And I'm finding people to be somewhat congenial, because my competitive side was on alert. Yes.
I mean, I have seen people almost come to blows. Trying to get a better position or stick a mic in. But yeah, this is a lot tamer from that standpoint, Rick. All right, so what are your thoughts? You know, dealing with we were here for the 49ers, and you talked to a couple of coordinators, probably listened to Harbaugh. What's the mood of this team, do you think, here on Tuesday?
Well, they're very, very well schooled in what to say. And what I think my role is here is to ask them something about coaching or about playing that won't get them off their guard, but actually let them talk about their craft a little bit. So we had some great discussions today with Vic Fangio and their version of the 3-4, since that's what the Saints are going to go to, and their offensive coordinator as well, Ricky Jean-Francois. We had a chance to talk with him, and Jonathan Goodwin. So really got a sense that they're well schooled in what to say, but they're on top of their game as well. They're very serious, not only serious about what they're doing, but they're ready to play now from an assignment perspective.
You know, talking with Vic Fangio like you did, it was interesting to talk to him about comparing the Niners quartet of linebackers with the linebackers of the Dome Patrol back when Vic was coach of the Saints. And we were asking for comparisons, and he said, well, right now there's a good comparison, but that Dome Patrol of Ricky Jackson, Vaughn Johnson, Sam Mills, Pat Swilling, certainly they established themselves as a Pro Bowl, multi-Pro Bowl type players. Ricky's in the Hall of Fame, but the set of linebackers they've got is very, very good, and if they stay together, Rick, if they stay together,
hello,
it's
media day, Chief.
If they stay together, they've got a good chance to have that kind of reputation when it's all said and done.
That's right. One of the things about media day is that sometimes maybe that's kind of why the crowd is a little bit calmer. Maybe good food and good drink has something to do with that. What do you think?
I think so. But you know what it is? The Ravens are going to follow. The Ravens are going to follow us and the 49ers after the luncheon break, and then they hit the practice field starting tomorrow, and it becomes full bore.
Yeah, this is quite an operation. Certainly, in the 49er portion that we just completed, they're certainly well schooled in what to do, and they're getting a little extra work in this afternoon, because they usually don't work on Tuesday. They're going to have some meetings and a walkthrough. What do you expect in just a little while when we start meeting with the Baltimore Ravens?
I think more of the same. You know, the people have referred to this game as the Har Bowl. I think John and Jim Harbaugh have done a really good job of preparing their team for what they can expect. The Niners haven't been here in a while. Harbaugh hadn't been here. John Harbaugh hasn't been here. They've been close. But you know what? I think that they're so business-minded, both of them, that they know how to deal with these distractions or the purported distraction. I think they're going to put that all aside and just concentrate on getting ready for the game. I really do. I'll be surprised if there's really any major distraction that's going to upset these guys at all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I do notice a bit of difference in their personalities, and I started looking up birth order sibling rivalries, and they're almost right out the book classic.
Yes.
That John is very calm and he's very comfortable in almost every circumstance, smiles a lot more, and is easily under control. You could tell that Jim has to work on being under control, that given the opportunity, he'll get fired up in a nanosecond.
There's no doubt about it. And you know what you notice, Jim Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick particularly, they're men of very short answers. They're not too engaging, but they're going through their obligation. And for many of these guys, it is a good stage to be on. But for some, they don't like it. You know, I know a lot of guys do not like this kind of environment. You know, they don't like it. They're not used to having all the media probe, prick, and pry. And but some guys thoroughly enjoy it. I've seen some guys through the years, Rick, really kind of be pulled off the stage when the hour is up. They want to keep going.
And something I found very interesting today is that one of the larger groups was around Alex Smith. And he has been getting a lot of notoriety for how well he's handled the transition to Kaepernick, which you know hurt Alex Smith internally, and he has really held up his end of the bargain quite professionally. And that was one of the bigger groups today, was interviewing him.
And he wasn't even on one of the risers. He was down on the ground milling around. And yeah, and the reason for it is because of what's happened over the last 24, 48 hours is that, you know, that the Niners are going to be faced with a big financial decision what to do with Alex Smith once the offseason rolls around, once the calendar year is over. You know, the Niners are going to have to make a decision. Do they want to pay this guy $8.5 million or $7.5 million, whatever they're due him on? It's due him on April 1st. So they're going to have to make a roster decision, a big-time financial decision. Do you cut him, let him go, absorb some hit in the cap, or do you hold on to him? That's a lot of money, or restructure a contract. I don't think so. I think Alex wants to go someplace and start.
Well, that's one thing every professional player wants to do. They want to play. And that is something that Alex Smith wants to be able to do. Well, we're here between sessions getting ready to greet the Baltimore Ravens here once again, Media Day at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Brian Allee Walsh, Rick Gallie here for First NBC and all of their affiliates throughout the city. And SportsNola.com. Tune in, tune on, log on, read everything in SportsNola.com.